Okay, so it's really key that you know, that the x-axis here, that's what we refer to as the domain. The x values are the domain, and the y-axis, this is what the range is. Okay, so the question I think you're referring to is gives a domain of -3 to infinity, and it's for the graph of x squared minus 25. So if you think of what that graph would look like, it would look something like this, a U-shaped graph going down. Its minimum point here, that would be -25. So that's the lowest that graph goes, and it's going to tend towards infinity in both this direction and this direction. I can work out these values of the x-axis by working out the y value must be equal to 0, and subbing 0 into that, taking the -25 over to getting +25, square rooting that to find that this value here is -5 and this value here is 5. Now I'm interested in a domain of -3 to infinity. So -3 to infinity is a domain, which means it's the x-axis between those values. So I am interested between here at -3 all the way until infinity. Well, I can tell you there quite clearly that that graph is tending towards infinity as x tends to infinity. What I need to know is what the range of the y values is during that bit there. So if I come down to my graph here, I'm interested in all of this bit of the graph. Now, if I go and chuck in f of -3, I'm going to go and get -3 squared giving 9, take away 25, which is -16. That's that point there. But I can quite clearly see that my graph gets lower and lower and lower in that journey. Now it's starting to get higher and higher and higher, so its minimum point is actually the lowest it is going to get within the domain of -3 to infinity in that bit there. So along this graph here, the lowest point it's going to reach of the y-axis is -25, and it's going to go all the way up to infinity. So its range would have been equal to -25, which that's going to be a square bracket because it hits exactly at -25 and then it starts going up, to infinity, which would be a rounded bracket.